Alright guys, today we're going to discuss objections. So objections are something that can be pretty frightening for somebody who's new to sales, right? So this is the first real roadblock that you come up against with your customer. And us as seasoned salespeople, we know that an objection is not necessarily a roadblock, but it's an opportunity to earn their business or to overcome that objection and really sell the car or sell whatever we're selling to the customer. So their objection is, you can be boiled down to the fear, right? Or the fear of being sold, or the fear of making a bad decision. You can kind of boil a lot of the objections down to fear. So as a salesperson, if we recognize this, we can address that, bridge past it, and then we can go back to selling. I think it's important for you new salespeople out there to recognize that when you get an objection, that's your opportunity. So they just hit you with the reason not to buy, right? So if you can bypass that objection and move the sale along, you're doing yourself a favor. So if you let that objection hold you up, what you're doing is you're essentially giving credibility to the customer when they tell you, hey, here's my objection. I need to talk to my wife, or I'm not sure now is a good time to buy, or I don't like red, or I really wanted 4 doors. Those are all things that are objections that they're throwing up here, maybe to protect themselves, maybe because they didn't plan on buying today, maybe they're afraid to make a big decision. But as salespeople, if we recognize those objections and we get good at handling them to make our customers feel comfortable, what that's going to do is it's going to give us the ability to close those deals that other people can't close. So a great example, a customer comes into my dealership and tells me, I only want black or white. And the car that they're interested in, I only have silver, right? So I've got this objection. Now I can either say, okay, I understand, Mr. Customer, I'm sorry. It's a silver car. I don't have the colors that you want. I'm sorry. The customer's going to say, okay, thank you so much. XYZ Motors down the road has it. I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at that car. All right, I just lost a customer. The customer went to my competitor. Now I've got to answer to my sales manager, right? That sounds like a nightmare. Flip to, overcoming the objection, right? So the customer comes in and they say, I only want black or white. I only have a silver. I understand, Mr. Customer, black and white are both really nice colors. The silver one, although I know it might not be exactly what you want, while you're here, why don't you just drive it? Make sure you like the way it drives. Because a lot of people, they do some research online, they know kind of what cars they like, but they've never really driven them. Makes more sense to drive it, doesn't it? Customer, of course it makes more sense to drive it. He's here, he's not at XYZ Motors. I'm a friendly guy, I was friendly to him when he walked in, he doesn't feel pressured. Of course, Nathan, I'll drive it. Go ahead and get the car pulled up for me. The car pulls up, he drives it. When he gets back, I go, what'd you think? He goes, oh, well, you know what? I really don't buy cars without my wife's opinion. Objection number 2, right? So the first one was the test drive, second time. Now I have another opportunity. I can either let this hang me up or I can bypass it, right? So I bypass the objection number 2. I would never make a decision without my wife either, Mr. Customer. Why don't you take this car to your wife now? Looks like it's about lunchtime. Maybe she can meet you for lunch. Mr. Customer goes, you know what? That's a great idea. I usually don't bring my wife down to car dealerships. I'll go meet my wife. He takes the vehicle, goes and meets his wife. Now his wife sees the car, loves the car. She likes the silver. Maybe she doesn't like the silver. The point is, when you're overcoming your objections, you're giving yourself more chances and more opportunities. If you take the customer at face value and you don't overcome their objections, you limit the amount of opportunities you can sell. The more opportunities that you give yourself, the better your odds are of closing that customer. So if you take them at face value, oh, he doesn't like the silver, you just lost out on the opportunity of selling him. Maybe his wife loves silver. Maybe the vehicle's actually for his wife and they haven't talked about color. These are all things that you don't know, and knowledge is power when it comes to sales. So the more things that you can overcome, or the more things you can discover, the better off you're going to be. So really view objections as opportunities to learn more about your customer, opportunities to take more swings at selling them something. Don't take them at face value. Make sure you push every customer through their objections I say push, I push in a light manner. Don't be slimy, greasy greaseball. We all see those people. But push your customer just enough so that they're still comfortable, but you also get them through that objection. So there's a lot more to be touched on objections. I'll probably do a part 2 to this video, but that's probably the best thing I can impart to you as a new salesperson is don't let the objections stop you. View them as an opportunity to really build rapport with your customer and also to get more opportunities to close.